Welcome to Pastors Connect. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I'm here with Pastor Darlene Dakin. Hello, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
There's a reason we look alike. I'll let you figure that out. Sometimes we get asked if we're sisters, which she loves that and I don't. But my mother and father, Daryl and Darlene Dakin, are actually campus pastors and also missionaries. And I'll let her tell you how they got to be what they're doing. But for right now, they are pastoring at Living Waters Church in Cadiz, Kentucky. And you have services there Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night.
Yes, that's right.
What time Sunday morning?
10:30 Sunday morning. We have prayer at 6 Sunday night and at 7 on Wednesday night. We right now are studying Galatians.
Are you? Well, Mother's a wonderful teacher, and you usually teach on Wednesday night, right?
Yes, I do.
But before that, they actually have lived in Honduras for over a decade, and they have built a ranch over there and several ministries. And we're just going to give an update today on how that's doing, because we took up a special offering Sunday morning at Living Waters and at the river and other places, because Legacy Metals is matching up to $15,000. And that's a great idea, because if you had $15,000, you automatically make that into 30. So people have been working and on getting that in. What was the date that had to be in by?
By the end of this month.
Okay, by the end of this month. So there's some promises, still waiting on some checks to come in. But if you'd like, by the time we're finished, if you want to donate, you can go to totheriver.com and click on donate. You can also mail a check to Aaron's Missions, P.O. Box 853, Nortonville, Kentucky 42442, or Aaron's Mission and Outreach Facebook page. So, how long have you all been in Honduras?
16 years.
Has it been that long?
Yep, more than that if you count. Well, we've been in the States since COVID, but 16 years is the years we lived there.
16 years, and my baby brother, Honduran brother, is 30, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a Honduran brother who actually runs the ministry. How is with all the things with COVID and the restrictions, which is why you all ended up in the United States. Thank the Lord you were able to leave and get back into the States. But just tell us about that journey and what's going on over there.
Well, first when COVID hit, we had already planned on coming to the States for some missions conference and just for a short period of time. So when COVID hit, it was just right before, 2 or 3 days before we were to get on the plane to come. So then everything was canceled. And then they had what they called some emergency flights, and people were trying to get them. But our plane, since we had our tickets and stuff, we were finally able to come back home. But COVID is really, really bad there. Daryl had made a trip I think he was there for a couple of weeks in March. And it's just really bad. Over there, you wear a mask everywhere you go. If you're in your own car or if you're riding a motorcycle, and there's just limited on gatherings. And also, when you go into a store there, they count how many people are in the store. Before you go in, you get your temperature taken, you get your shoes sprayed, and you wear gloves. And so it's because of all that, and because of people not getting out, and especially the elder, we did close our medical clinic for the time being, which when that calms down and we can get the doctor. Right now, our doctor is working with a lot of COVID patients, and sometimes just in our small village, 20 people die a day. So,
which is odd, because they really are, they're masked up, and you just don't know why that's happening.
I don't know, and we've got some missionary friends that's had COVID and everything now too. That's some, of course, in the hospital, some pass away. So anyway, it's just been real difficult for that. And because of that, the schools are all closed, which we usually feed 4 mountain schools every week. So what we've been doing is taking food to the mountain. Ever goes buys groceries, bags the groceries up, divides them out, and makes the trip up the mountain and passes the food out. Because of the COVID and the crop supply, it's just been real difficult for them to even get food. Plus, prices is higher. And if you think about an average mountain man making less than $10 American a day, they don't have time, money to buy medical stuff, or they don't, groceries is really a burden for them. So anyway, Everett makes the trips up the mountain as often as he can and passes out food that way.
So if they make 10 American dollars a day, if they're working, how much is a chicken? Like a whole chicken?
It's over $5 American. When we left, I don't know what they are now, but it'd be over $5, so that's a day's wage.
So here, if you make $10 an hour, work 8 hours, that's $80. That would be the equivalent of your chicken costing $40.
So there's no money for medical. So even though the medical clinic's closed right now, we are, if someone's sick or whatever, we are providing transportation and medical care to the doctors and back and forth. So the people that need care, we're still making sure I forget who he said the other day, he had to take in the doctor and stuff. So we are still doing that, just not with the clinic right now.
And it seems like the people are really thankful. I saw the video of Ever was taking up to Santa Maria, and she was grabbing the groceries that he brought, beans, rice. It's not a gift card where you can go popping candy. It's stuff that they can eat for a while. And she brought it out of the bag and was kissing it.
And she's going to say, and you might not understand her on the video, but she says, "I'm going to go cook this now."
Oh, did she?
But we haven't been there for over a year, or I haven't been there for a little over a year now, but she was telling Ever, because Santa Maria loves me, and she'll see me, and she'll just come up and just kiss me all over, and how much she loves me, so it was good to see her on the video.
I remember I was in Honduras, and you introduced me to her. She was so excited. She was calling me your Nina, which I guess is her child, your child. Of course, you can tell we look like... And she was kissing you on the face. She was kissing you all over. And then she came at me because by relation, she was so thankful because I think you all had provided some things. She had some children and some mattresses, which is a huge deal, to get those kinds of amenities. And one of the most shocking pictures I ever saw in Honduras actually was one of her children, I think. Just like 3 or 4 years old, and she was peeling an apple with a machete. And that child had a finger missing. I can almost guess how that got missing, but I mean, a real machete, she was peeling it. So it's just a different culture. Not bad, not better, just different.
Well, the thing of it is Santa Maria's honesty. We provide education for kids' schooling too, and for some reason her kids didn't get to go with us when we took them shopping. So I end up, and you have to watch out because people aren't always honest. But anyway, I took a chance and gave Santa Maria some money and told her I wanted the receipts back and whatever money she had left after she got what she needed for the kids. Well, she seen Daryl, but she would not give any money to Daryl because I'm the one that gave her the money, and I'm the one she was going to give me the receipts and stuff. But anyway, she did prove herself being an honest woman.
It is a real joy. We actually, a team here from the river was there right before COVID hit. I mean, right at the very beginning of that. And so we got to do some classes and teach and go up the mountain and share that. So you guys have been really proactive. In what I like about your ministry is you're not just over there handing out things willy-nilly. You look and you see, I could feed them just today, or I can change these generations. So they've looked at the kids and thought, if we provide them a better education, automatically, if they're bilingual, that ups the ability for them to make higher paying jobs. And they don't make it past first grade. So what you all are doing, or in process of doing, and kind of you can get it together during this COVID season, is on the ranch there, you're starting a bilingual school. So when you have children that will apply themselves and do the work, this would be like somebody coming out of extreme poverty and being taken to Harvard and being given this kind of opportunity. So you all are providing and these funds that are being raised right now, you can't, I mean, even if they reach that 15,000, go on and give if the Lord directs you, because they're going to need school supplies, desks, which I know you all have, you've been building up for it. This isn't new. For years,
Right.
you've been looking to do this, and there's a teacher that's helping you, Kristen Lamb, out of Hopkins County, who is just kind of helping to direct some of that. But what kind of change will be made in these kids that get to go to this school?
Well, just one thing, just their education and to be able to know, because the schools there usually are only half a day. And our local teacher at the foot of the mountain, he's not there. He's not there more than he's there, and very poor educator. And the kids, that they go to school when they want to. The parents, if the kids aren't in school, then the kids are free to work on the farms. So the parents don't care if the kids go to church or go to school. And right now, our Ever is our adopted son, and his son is being educated. He's taking computer lessons because he is going to a private school because he's bilingual. And in order for him to get educated, and right now we've got 6 kids that I know of right now from kindergarten to 2nd grade, whose parents will dedicate themselves to making sure they're educated and shows a lot of potential. So if we don't do that, then they're not going to get educated, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And so we're going to have some criteria for the kids, because we could not afford just for every kid to come. We put like 50 kids we furnish at school every year, and many of those kids just drop out. Or they may come long enough to get their free uniforms and all and drop out. So we want to be careful with people's money. But the thing with the school, anybody and several people has been to Honduras from this area, and just to see the growth and what God has done. And the thing of it is, Daryl and I had very little to do with it other than being bodies there. That ministry is built on lots of people. There's no one person that can really say, I'm the reason why Aaron's Mission's there, because there's too many people that's been involved all along. But we're looking across at the property where we live at, and we see this blank land. And Ever has been working on wanting to get a soccer field there. And we're thinking school, conference center, or whatever. And it's like Kristen said. She said, as that conference center is being built, this is just like a dream. Just come past, just to see that built. There's now a basketball court on that property. There also is a playground, as well as a soccer field, and where they can play volleyball, and bathrooms. So right now it's used as a conference center, which will be used as the school, and we'll see as we grow what happens. But I just happened to meet a lady from Tegucigalpa who had a Christian bilingual school and had lost it because somebody had embezzled her money. So we are working with her since she's had this school, and she is helping us with lawyers and everything, and we're going to just go ahead and purchase her property or help her pay some of the debt off that was embezzled, and it'll be a lot easier process for us with lawyer fees. And then we need to put tile down in the conference center, because if anybody has ever swept concrete, it's hard to keep things clean. And then the window covering, we're going to need to put something to keep the dust and the weather out. So anyway, we're thinking $40,000 will get that school up and gone, and we're raising right now with $15,000 with Legacy Metals matching $15,000. That gives us $30,000. So if people's wondering what will the overdue of the money go, will go between the school and also to keep the people on the mountain to get food up there to them as we can. So that's what the money is all for, and we sure appreciate everybody that's sewed into it, and people have, and God's just been good. And you just have to remember, it's a God thing, because Daryl and Darlene, all they've been is just hands and feet over there, as far as it's been the other people that's been making it happen.
I love how we used to have like an annual banquet, and then all the people come in. Of course, you know, I've not been there 3 or 4 or 5 times maybe over the span of the 16 years. And in will come Marvin Hightower, who the people love him, and he's ministered there, and a lot of people have gotten saved. He likes to hand out candy to the kids, I understand. And then in will come Restoration House from Hopkins County, and they're the ones that actually put the playground there.
Yeah,
And if you're thinking playground, you're not thinking about a park like we would have, all the colored slide, but it's pretty incredible. The kids look like a bunch of flies all over it. They crawl all over that little wooden playground they made. It's so neat. They made a prayer garden at a different time as well.
Yeah, they did.
I think our church went over, and there's a bridge where people couldn't go. So it's like people from all over. It's particularly here, Texas, Virginia, Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, Ohio,
Alabama, and Georgia.
They would come in and do a piece of the work. So when you go and you look, it's like, how in the world did they create this? How do they sustain this? But literally, it's like snipers from the United States coming in, doing a portion of the work, coming back until this project's complete. Now, when you're thinking of a conference, you're not thinking about a conference hall like you would have here in the United States. It looks different. It's more airy. What they have is nice. Probably for American standards, it's not some place that we're going to probably go and stay at the Ritz or whatever. But there in Honduras, let me tell you, there's no place like it. It's up in the middle of, they actually live there among the poor. And you can sit out on the porch and you can watch everything from men on donkeys to
Oxen carrying sugar cane down past the road.
Yeah, it's like 100 years of different transportation going back and forth. It's pretty cool because vans and trucks will come up there. It's not a fun ride. It's dirt, holy roads to get up there.
One of the things I had to do when we were deciding about moving over there, one of the questions I was asking myself was, Darlene, do you want to ride these roads every day for the rest of your life?
And one of my favorite pictures is you in church when somebody brought in their tithe and you're holding a chicken.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten several chickens brought in.
And, you know, when people get in the heart to give, even the poor, you know, don't dismiss the blessing it is to give. I think at times, even if it's a blessing to go pick up sticks or
Yeah,
to
tell the story about you on the ride up to the mountain when we picked up stuff and took stuff back.
I love that. I'll tell this and we'll try to wrap it up. My parents are really great at looking at what people have and then building from there. I've seen Mom many times go and look at, okay, they have a coffee tree, they have a sugar cane, they don't have enough money for food. How can we train them how to sell these things or whatever? So it's not just like hand food out and make you dependent upon the Americans, make you dependent upon whatever, upon these missionaries. No, they're there to, yeah, sometimes they just give out, but for the most part, it's equipping them to be able to survive and thrive on their own. But this particular time, I don't remember the exact details, but this is the basic what I remember. We're at the bottom of this mountain, and I went up to this tree, and this neat fruit was on there. So she picked this fruit and gave it to me, and I was trying to ask her in English how to eat it because they have fruit that I'm not familiar with here. And she started laughing at me when the interpreter told her it actually wasn't a fruit. It was maracas while they're still in the green state. And she said, don't eat it.
It's gourds.
Gourd?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like gourds like we would see on a vine. It's hanging from a tree. It looked like some kind of yummy dessert, but it wasn't. So we go up the tree, and somebody sees our vehicle that Mom and Dad had blessed before, and they reach up and they hand bananas to us. Well, I held out my gourd, and they were glad to get it. So I traded the gourd, and now we have bananas. We go on up the mountain a little bit to deliver some more things to the poor, and there was a woman there with some tortillas. So I share the bananas, I take the tortillas, and now I've got a trade of tortillas. I go on up the mountain, And there's a woman up there with the most delicious pineapples you will ever put in your mouth, which I thought pineapples came from a tree, but no, they do not. They're from a single bushy-like thing. So I think I handed her some tortillas and some bananas, and I got a pineapple. I traded food all the way up the mountain and traded with people that there was one lady, all she had to eat was bananas. And there was another one, I saw her put a banana in a tortilla and was eating a banana tortilla. I was like, that doesn't look good without honey and peanut butter.
One family didn't have any food at all. But when we got to the top of the mountain, somebody gave us some beans.
And when we got to the next person that needed it, we had all this food. I started out with nothing and traded all the way up. And by the time I got to where God had me to go, I was able to give these people, beans and bananas that I didn't have at the beginning. And I thought, wow, we are carriers of not just the gospel, but of provision for people. Mm-hmm. So that was a fun day.
That's everybody's favorite day, is going to the mountain and giving out whatever, food and maybe clothes, shoes, toys, and you have kids running after you. There's a lot of pictures on our Facebook page. It's Aaron's Mission Facebook page for anybody that wants to see some of those pictures, and I think there's some videos and all too.
Do you know, I was on the back of your truck going up the mountain one time, and I saw a flock of parrot.
Parrots are, people have parrots in their houses, they're wild over there.
A whole flock.
Yeah, and they're noisy.
Yeah, but they were pretty. They were green ones. I really like that. Now, Mary Ellen, who's here at the church, she's been there more times than probably anybody. Has lived there for stints. And they call her grandmother in Spanish, I think.
Yeah, they love Mary Ellen. Last time she went over there, some of them walked several hours to come see her.
Really?
Because they knew she was going to be there.
Yeah, that's another thing I learned. I was a crybaby because many would walk for 3 or 4 hours in the rain to get to church.
That was another thing when we were thinking about coming over there is we went to church one night, and it was a house church, and Ever's mom had come to church and soaked and wet, had walked through the mud and the rain to get there, and I'm thinking, how do I dare not come here? How do I dare not? And because of that family has been so blessed. Ever, who is Sandra's son, we share him. She was okay with us adopting him because she knew it'd be a better life. But God just took that boy and just changed this poor little mountain boy to made him to one of the best singers and can play any instrument. He pastors right now one of the 4 churches that we built. The one church is, because of COVID, they just gotten the roof off of it and was putting it back on because of some cracks and stuff, and COVID hit, so we never was able to go back over there and put the building or the roof back on there. So Ever stays very busy between taking the food and people at the doctor and pastoring, and just has a new baby. We have 3 grandbabies over there. So somebody said, how do you stand being away? And I said, everywhere we go, we leave people. When we go to Honduras, we leave our family here. And when we come to the States, we leave our family there. And so God has just blessed us, but He's put us in a time right now that Ever's able to run everything over there, does a well job, gives me a report, and I just have to send him the money. And but God has just blessed us. And right now, well, not only are we missionaries in Honduras, but we're missionaries in Cadiz, Kentucky, and we are enjoying that for such a season to what God leads. So God has just expanded our territories, and we're just happy to be in His will right now.
So River is home base, and then they do outreaches in Honduras and in Cadiz, and Mom's working here with me. But I will say this before we leave. Ever, if you're watching, I know you're the baby, and I know that you have her wrapped around your little finger. I know that.
He really does.
I'm like, how in the world does he get away with some of the things he gets away with? But all he does is he grins, and she melts into a big blob. Believe that or not. That's true. But we love them. Well, thanks for joining us today. We hope that you will pray for missions in Honduras, for the lovely people there, and for all of those. Yes, we believe in home missions, but Jesus commissioned us to go into all the world and preach the gospel. And so it's a great privilege here at the river, not just for home missions, but also extending our hand to those that can't really thank us. They really can't give anything back, but we love the people there in Central America. Thank you guys for all the work you do.
And thank you for everyone who has just supported us in any way possible with prayers and coming and visiting us and just the money, and especially this big project going on right now. And hopefully next year we'll see a Christian bilingual school in operation if COVID will just leave us alone.
That would be great. And so what you sow today could mean a whole family changed here in a few years. So it's wonderful. God bless. Have a great evening. We'll see you this weekend. Revival with Bishop Lance Johnson this weekend and also tonight at 7 o'clock.